I've only been in Belgrade for a few days, and honestly, I'm already asking myself, how is this city not on every expat's radar? Everyone keeps bragging about moving to Lisbon, Berlin, or Prague, while Belgrade sits here quietly, like the underrated kid in class who's actually the most interesting person in the room. This was once the beating heart of Yugoslavia, a capital that carried weight and influence across Europe. And you can still feel that legacy in the streets. It's gritty, it's proud, and it's alive in a way polished cities just can't pull off. What strikes me most is the contrast. You walk past raw concrete blocks that look like history etched in stone, and then suddenly, you're in a buzzing cafe surrounded by laughter, cigarette smoke, and the endless aroma of coffee. The rivers give the city this restless, flowing energy, and when the sun goes down, let's just say Belgrade's nightlife makes party capitals like Berlin look like they're on curfew. The people are sarcastic, direct, but weirdly warm. They'll stare at you in the bakery, then buy you a shot of rakia an hour later. The vibe is unpredictable, and that's half the fun. Now, let's clear this up. Belgrade isn't the dirt-cheap hidden gem backpackers used to rave about. Those days are gone. But compared to other European capitals, it's still refreshingly affordable. Here, you can still live well without constantly checking your bank balance. So in this video, I'm breaking down everything you need to know about living here. The costs, the lifestyle, the surprises, and why Belgrade might just be the best city you've never seriously considered. In Belgrade, your experience will change a lot depending on which neighborhood you choose. And luckily, the city gives you options, whether you're looking for trendy, central, or budget-friendly. If you've got some cash to spend, the neighborhoods everyone raves about are Vračar, Dorćol, Stari Grad, and parts of Novi Beograd. These are Belgrade's prime spots, packed with cafés, restaurants, and nightlife. Think tree-lined streets, historic buildings, and a vibe where life is literally buzzing outside your door. But convenience comes at a price. Here, a small studio or a cozy one-bedroom will usually cost around 700 to 800 euros a month, sometimes even higher if it's fully renovated. If your wallet prefers a softer approach, don't worry. Belgrade still has plenty of affordable corners. Zemun, Karaburma, Banovo Brdo, or the outer parts of Novi Beograd are quieter, more local, but still well connected by tram, bus, or metro. Here, you can grab that same one-bedroom or studio for around 400 to 500 euros, often with more space and a more authentic vibe. Finding a long-term rental in Belgrade is pretty straightforward if you know where to look. Expats usually check city expert Halo Oglasi or local Facebook groups, and word of mouth works wonders. If someone mentions a vacancy, it's often gone before it even hits the listings. Airbnb is fine for the first month, but for real savings, go for a proper contract with the landlord. A few Serbian quirks. Landlords often prefer cash, expect a 2-month deposit, and contracts can be pretty simple. Apartments sometimes come semi-furnished, so don't be shocked if the couch looks vintage, and heating can take a minute to figure out in older buildings. So pick your vibe, right in the action or a quieter neighborhood for half the price. Either way, Belgrade's got options, but the good spots don't last long. Living in Belgrade is a treat for your taste buds, and honestly, you don't need a fortune to eat well. Local Serbian cuisine is hearty, flavorful, and perfect if you like big portions and bold tastes. Think pljeskavica, a Serbian burger, cevapi, and of course sarma, all usually affordable at small local eateries. A solid lunch at a casual spot will set you back around 5 to 7 euros, while a dinner at a mid-range restaurant is about 10 to 15. And yes, desserts like krofne or baklava make an appearance without breaking the bank. Coffee culture here is alive and thriving. A specialty Americano or flat white usually costs 2 to 3 euros, perfect for sitting at a cafe, watching the city, and plotting your next adventure. Groceries are super manageable too. Stores like Maxi, Idea, or Lidl cover all the basics, while smaller green markets are great for fresh fruits, vegetables, and local cheeses. If you want to save a bit more, Belgrade has plenty of discount Chinese shops for noodles, sauces, and random kitchen gadgets. Cooking at home can cost about 200 to 250 euros per month, depending on your lifestyle, while still leaving room for a few treats or international ingredients. And for the food explorers, Belgrade has a growing scene of international restaurants. Vegan spots, sushi, Italian, and even hip fusion cafes are scattered around the city. Basically, whether you want to eat like a local or go on a mini culinary world tour, Belgrade has you covered without draining your wallet. Okay, this one's wild. Belgrade is officially free to ride on public transport. Yep, you heard that right. Buses, trams, trolleybuses, even the suburban BG Vaz train are all free for anyone, anytime. Imagine hopping on a tram without digging for change, scanning a ticket, or sweating over a card balance. Pure freedom. The network is solid too. There are hundreds of routes crisscrossing the city, covering both busy hubs and quieter neighborhoods. You can zip across town in minutes, whether you're headed to a cafe in Vračar or just exploring the Danube riverbanks, and the rides themselves are part of the city's charm. Old school trams rattle along the streets, giving you that gritty Belgrade vibe, while newer buses feel surprisingly modern. Cycling is catching on fast, and bike lanes are steadily improving. Grab a rental bike or an e-scooter, and suddenly the city feels even more alive. Owning a car? Honestly, skip it. Between traffic, parking struggles, and a surprisingly walkable city center, you'll spend more time hunting for a spot than enjoying the city. In short, getting around Belgrade is literally free, and kind of fun. Let's talk essentials. Keeping your apartment cozy and staying connected. In Belgrade, many rentals include heating, water, and trash, which is a blessing in winter. If not, expect around €50 a month for utilities for a small studio. Some older buildings have quirky radiators. Consider it part of the city's charm. Internet is fast, reliable, and cheap, usually €10 to €15 per month, with providers like SBB or Telecom. You'll have no problem staying online, working, or keeping in touch with friends. A tip for newcomers: always check if heating is included in your rent. Especially in older apartments, it can make a noticeable difference. Otherwise, utilities here are straightforward and way easier on your wallet than in most Western capitals. Belgrade knows how to keep life interesting without blowing your budget. A movie ticket costs around €5, a pint of local beer €2 to €3, and cocktails usually €6 to €10. Dining out is also surprisingly affordable. Lunch at a local bistro will run you about €5 to €7, while a nice dinner at a mid-range restaurant is €10 to €15. Cafe culture is thriving, with specialty coffee for €2 to €3, perfect for people watching, catching up with friends, or getting some work done in style. Fitness fans can grab a gym membership for €20 to €40 per month, while parks like Kalemegdan, Topcheater, and Ada Tiganlia are perfect for running, cycling, or just chilling outdoors. The nightlife? Belgrade has it all, from riverside bars and clubs to cozy local spots with live music. There's always something happening, and the city's energy is addictive. All told, if you factor in eating out, going for drinks, coffee, cinema, and a little fitness, you're looking at roughly €150 extra per month to live the Belgrade lifestyle comfortably. It's affordable, lively, and full of opportunities to explore without constantly watching the clock or your wallet. So you're thinking about staying in Belgrade longer than a few weeks? Good news, it's doable, and not as painful as you might think. For short-term stays, up to 90 days, most nationalities don't even need a visa. That means you can roll in, explore the city, sip your rakia by the riverside, and not worry about paperwork. Just make sure your passport is valid. Now, if you want to settle in for a while, you'll need a long-stay visa and a temporary residence permit. This is what most expats use if they're here for work, study, or family reasons. The process requires some forms, proof of address, and a bit of patience. But once it's done, you're legally living in one of Europe's most underrated cities. For digital nomads and remote workers, Serbia is surprisingly flexible. While there isn't a dedicated digital nomad visa, you can usually get a temporary residence permit as a freelancer or entrepreneur. You'll need to prove a stable income, health insurance, and a Serbian address. But it's very doable. The takeaway? With the right paperwork and a bit of patience, Belgrade is wide open for expats, students, freelancers, retirees, and digital nomads alike. You just need a few documents, a steady income, and the courage to dive into city life. Now, let's talk about living costs in Belgrade, without sounding like a boring spreadsheet. Starting with rent. For around €400, you can snag a small studio or a cozy one-bedroom apartment in a well-connected neighborhood. Not huge, but perfectly livable, with easy access to cafes, shops, and the city's vibe. Groceries usually come to about 250 euros if you mix cooking at home with the occasional market treats. Fresh bread, local cheese, vegetables, a bit of meat or fish, and of course, the occasional coffee or pastry while people watching. This is daily life done right. As I mentioned earlier, starting from January 1st, 2025, Belgrade introduced completely free public transportation. That means buses, trams, trolleybuses, and even the trains are all yours to ride without spending a single dinar. Utilities and internet hover around 100 euros. Heating, water, electricity, and reliable internet keep your apartment cozy and connected. Winter can nudge it a little higher, but nothing outrageous. For entertainment and fun, plan about 150 euros a month. That covers nights out, drinks, movies, live music, weekend trips, and even the occasional meal at a local restaurant. Belgrade has plenty of ways to enjoy yourself without draining your budget. And the little extras, think haircuts, laundry, toiletries, will cost around 50 euros. In the end, Belgrade lets you live the good life for roughly 950 euros per month. Think cozy digs, solid food, rides across the city, drinks with friends, and cultural outings. You get the full capital city experience without needing a billionaire's budget. Belgrade isn't just a cool city to live in, it's also brilliantly placed for exploring Europe. Trains and buses will get you to Vienna in about 5 hours, Budapest in roughly 4, and even Sofia in around 7. Want to fly? Low-cost airlines like Wizz Air or Ryanair make weekend trips to Rome, Paris, or London shockingly cheap if you book ahead. And don't forget Serbia itself. Beautiful towns like Novi Sad, Niš, or the vineyards along the Fruška Gora are just a couple hours away. Living in Belgrade means Europe is basically at your doorstep, whether you want a spontaneous weekend getaway or a full-on cultural adventure. So why do some expats fall head over heels for Belgrade, while others pack up after a few months? It's all about vibe and patience. Those who love it get addicted to the city's energy, the unpredictable streets, the wild nightlife, the cafés buzzing at midnight, and yes, the people who are sarcastic, direct, but deeply warm once you get them. But it's not all perfect. Winters can be chilly and gray, bureaucracy can be, let's say, testing, and the language barrier is real if you don't pick up at least some Serbian. Some people leave because they crave faster, more polished cities, or simply miss sunshine, convenience, or smoother paperwork. But those who stay, they learn to embrace the chaos, love the spontaneity, and fall in love with a city that's full of surprises. So, is Belgrade your next home or just a cool European stopover? If you love history, a buzzing nightlife, riverside strolls, cozy cafes, affordable living, and a city that rewards curiosity, you'll probably fall hard for it. Pack your sense of adventure, be ready to embrace the quirks, and give yourself time to get under the skin of the city. Belgrade isn't polished, it's real, but that's exactly why so many people end up loving it. And who knows? A few months here might turn into a year, and a year into something that feels like home.